at 9 PM GMT over on the Omegon Plays channel and on Twitch, both linked below. I shall be streaming some Euro Truck Simulator 2. I have no idea where we're going, but we're driving a new truck. Let's see how long I can go before I crash. That has become a prevalent theme. Now, the subject of today's video involves two cases that I want to address. The first one being quite interesting because it raises a number of questions about how we choose to celebrate our parents. I'm sure for the most part we all appreciate what they have done for us. No doubt there are some, many in fact, that have had horrible relationships with one or both of their parents. But to those who have the good relationship, a day each year is set for the children to give thanks and appreciate what their parents did for them. We call them Mother's Day and Mother's Day 2.0. These exist so that we can give our parents everything they deserve and they know that they are loved. Of course, they should know that 365 and a quarter days in a year, but they don't. Recently, and it has become quite entertaining, as I mentioned, Mother's Day 2.0, Father's Day has come under attack for a whole host of reasons because women want to encroach upon that. Not all, some, and that's fine. I get it. Certainly with gay couples when both parents are female, it makes sense that perhaps one of them is more butch and therefore deserves to have Father's Day. Okay, maybe we should have a gay Parents' Day, a non-binary Parents' Day, which coincidentally leads on to what has happened, where an elementary school in Melbourne has renamed Mother's Day because non-binary parents were offended by the holiday celebrations. I'll be honest, if your mother looks like the lady whose picture I've had on the screen the whole time and they identify as non-binary, it's possible they've got the species wrong entirely. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in an episode of Star Trek. A few years ago, I believe, in Australia, some places have gone out of their way to remove Father's Day. So to me, it actually doesn't seem like a bad idea at all to remove Mother's Day if, by doing so, they're making it equal. But we all know that's not what's happening here. And to call a holiday something that includes non-binary is stupid because you only ever have a mother or a father. All the other elements don't factor into it. Oh, and of course, mother, mother, father, father. Which actually leads handily on to why don't you, instead of getting rid of Mother's Day and Father's Day and instead having non-binary blah blah day, why don't you accept Mother's Day, Father's Day, have non-binary Parents' Day, Gay Parent Day, and because apparently we need a separate word for it, Lesbian Parent Day. And if we're going to go down this path, let's also have Trans Parent Day and Bisexual Parents' Day, because apparently that matters. The decision by the school, according to the principal, Janet De Pilla, was made after discussion with staff, parents and students at a primary school. I'm not entirely sure how you can get an informed and educated answer from a child, considering in a primary school they are quite easily led. If you tell them they get to be a dragon for the rest of the day if they accept that this alien can have Mother's Day to herself, but renamed to include non-binary, they're going to do it because they then get to be a dragon. She did put out a little statement, and I thought this was quite funny, because since both Mother's and Father's Day have been renamed to as Acknowledgement Day, Jesus Christ, the statement reads, "I sincerely hope that this change in name will show that we as a community recognise that our families are not made up of any particular combination of people, and that we no longer subscribe to a binary world." Hard sciences would like to beg to differ on the binary aspect, but never mind. I am sorry that in the past we have offended some members of our community, and hope that this acknowledgement goes some way to address any hurt which has occurred in the past. Unsurprisingly, when doing something like this because of the need to be inclusive, because some kids might not have mothers and some kids might not have fathers and so on, because of the stalls they have on those set days to buy trinkets for those relevant parents. There are those, certainly politicians in Australia, who are now getting very cross because they believe it's an attack on the traditional family. I would argue what is and is not a family has changed a lot. So the traditional could be argued to be somewhat regressive. Yes, okay, mother, father, perfect, fantastic. Father, father, brilliant. Mother, mother, brilliant. I felt like I had to say the same word for both because I'd be accused of being favouritist towards one. The point is, those are all sexuality based. Non-binary is not sexuality. Therefore, you are removing it based onto gender instead, which is your way of then attacking long established and accepted by the majority of the population days of the year to celebrate a mother and father. Sorry, mother and mother 2.0. I have no issue with a person who identifies as non-binary. I really don't. But your biological sex will at least say you are one or the other, unless you have transitioned. But if you're now going to say, yeah, I transitioned, but I'm still non-binary, you and I need to have a little discussion. Then again, I'd probably have a little discussion with anyone that becomes a parent and decides their gender is more important than their child wanting to celebrate them being their parent. But what I know, I'm childless and apparently have no opinion on this, according to one of my sisters. You stupid fuckhead. As a final little summary to all of this, I am not opposed to schools removing Mother's Day or Father's Day celebration. If they're doing it for both, who cares? If they're going to replace it with a day that makes people feel more inclusive, sure, go ahead. But I do think it's still fair that we celebrate mothers and fathers. If there are others that eventually become more prevalent and should therefore be widely accepted, then sure. But it still should be that we accept and celebrate mothers and fathers at the same time. If you want to be more inclusive, you don't need to take away from mothers and fathers. You could simply instead introduce a new one. It won't be as widely popular because non-binary parents or the alien here has a day, because there aren't as many. They are an endangered species at this present time. But give it more time and I'm sure there'll be more aliens on this planet. I wonder if she's into anal probing.